God is the light in the darkness. I've been in a lot of dark places. I've been left for dead. I've been kicked out of everywhere I ever lived in. Now I'm grateful I'm on a solid foundation where I live in my beautiful home. Thank the Lord that God allowed me to come here, that God allowed these things to happen to me. That I'm very grateful. You have to live in gratitude. Be thankful for the little, and God will bless you with many. You have to understand that God is testing you. He's testing the waters. You don't just jump into ice cold water. You got to let the sun warm it up. You got to let God work in your life before you can just jump in all the way. You got to be prepared for the blessing that he is preparing you with. He doesn't want you to walk in there with your same addictions. He doesn't want you to do that. And you might fall again once you get there, but God will remind you where you came from. God will remind you how much you overcame. God will remind you that he was with you through every single storm. Don't focus on the storm, because the storm is only meant to build you. It's meant to build your faith, build your endurance, build you closer to God, because that's what truly matters, the love of God. You can gain all the things of the world. What does a man gain if he loses his own soul? You cannot hold the things of the world, because when you die, the moths and the rust will destroy them. Other people will have them. Other people will live in your house. Other people will drive your car. You can't just hold on to the things of the world, because it doesn't matter. Gain something that lasts eternal. You know, Christ is all that matters. I make music, and that's what I do. I love making music. That's my favorite thing to do. I love preaching a testimony on stage. I love doing that too. I love talking about God. I loved it because he's truly saved me, and I want other people to know that God is the rock at the bottom of rock bottom. Jesus is the foundation you stand on. It says if a man makes his house on the sand, he will be swept away by the first storm that comes in. But if a man makes his house on a solid rock and builds it there, no storm could ever take him apart from Jesus. Jesus will be there for the times of need. I provide for my dog. I get him food. I give him shelter. I give him all the things he needs. He doesn't question where it's going to come from. He doesn't question. He might wonder when it's going to happen, but he doesn't question if it's going to happen. He knows he's going to be fed. There's a difference between knowing and believing. Believing, oh, I can believe I'm going to be rich. Or I know if I work every single day and I become successful, that wealth is going to be the result. That wealth is going to be what I'm building. That wealth is going to be for my children's children. And yeah, like I said, don't hold on to those things. That's not the most important thing on earth. Your relationship with Jesus Christ. That's why you're here, to be tested, to see if you're able to make it to heaven. And it's not by your own works, it's by your faith through grace, that God sent his only begotten son, that he would die for you, that you couldn't do it yourself. You couldn't make it to heaven, but his sins, all of our sins, were paid for by one man. One man entered sin and brought sin into the world, Adam, and Jesus Christ is the one who restored man's relationship with God. The covenant God started from the Garden of Eden. Animals are the only thing that stayed the same.